Today we cleaned, crack filled, and seal coated a beautiful driveway in the countryside out here in Oregon. And when we showed up, we were actually quite surprised because the homeowner actually thoroughly cleaned the driveway for us, which of course saves us a bit of time because we usually do that. So when we showed up, this driveway was absolutely spotless, so our seal coat crew pretty much just got right to work on crack filling. And when they crack fill, they always plan out their route depending on what the shape of the driveway is or what the property looks like, so that they can start at one end and then ultimately escape the property without backtracking and driving over some fresh crack fill, which would still be a bit tacky. But in this case, kind of a little bit of a roundabout. So we started on one edge, went around the circle, and then just took off out of there. So as you can see, we use this truck and trailer setup, and the trailer itself is this big pot, this vat of hot rubberized crack filler, which we use to seal our cracks. It sets up pretty quickly, and we have this wand with a trigger, and then at the end of this wand there's a little disc, which the crack fill comes out of that. But like I said, when done properly, it leaves this perfect 2-inch wide seal. Here you can see me filming a little bit. These are just some nice cracks to, I guess, shoot, and obviously we have to film it, so there I am. Here we're sealing a little pothole that the owner had fixed, and we were just putting some seal on the edge to make sure it stayed down and there wasn't an edge. So it's definitely a coordinated effort out here. Because you got drivers, you got spotters, you want to make sure we're being super safe, and also making sure we aren't missing any cracks. So I don't think there'd be anything worse than being a homeowner requesting that we fill all the cracks, and then you come back out after the job and realize that we missed cracks. And so even while I'm out here filming, I'm spotting and making sure that we're filling them, or if sometimes the cracks are really deep, and like this one, and they eat up. Oh, you can see we filled it, but it's eaten up a lot of that material. So we'll come back over here and put more material in there to actually fill it up. So just looking for little things like that to make sure that our quality is on point. I almost missed that one. We had to have Jose back it up. So they're always in communication with each other. Love it. Then once we're done doing the crack fill and it's time to stage seal coat, the crew kind of goes in the same sort of pattern that we just did the crack fill. That way we're going over the stuff that is set up the longest, and also that's the same route we're gonna take for escaping the property without having to backtrack. So this is a pretty typical process for our crew, but honestly any seal coat crew or team that you watch seal coat a property, they're gonna do this about the same. So rather than just going out there and start spraying immediately, you cut in. This is sort of the most detailed seal coating work that you're gonna do. You essentially have one guy with the wand with the tip off, the spray tip off, just lay down a bunch of material along the edges, and then some guys come after, maybe just one guy with the brooms, and like spread it out to where you're sealing it on the outside, whether you're up against a concrete pad or you're up against grass, or it actually like falls away, and then in that case you kind of want to push material over the edge of the driveway so it dribbles down and you can actually protect and seal the sides, like kind of the berms of the asphalt, if you will. But once you do that, and that's kind of, like I said, that's the most detail heavy work. Once you seal coat the edges of the driveway or the property, and it's 3 or 4, 3 feet, 2 feet extended from the edges, now you can use the sprayer. And the sprayer allows you to go a lot quicker, cover a lot more ground, but now you kind of have this buffer of you can spray without getting too close to the edge because you've already brought the edges in using seal coat. So yeah, we essentially just kind of work in tandem with one another. You don't do the edges of the whole property typically. You do the edges of like where you're working, and then you spray where you're working. You do more edges, then you spray. And then as we work out the driveway, as you can kind of see, is we do the edges of the driveway, then we spray, and do the edges, spray, until the driveway is complete. And then, I mean, all those edges and stuff sort of blend in, especially once you spray. That's kind of how you blend it. All right, I'm just gonna let you guys watch. I'm gonna stop blabbing so much. It's sort of just relaxing and cinematic to watch this driveway get sealed up from the elements, along with some nice music rather than just me talking. So I'm gonna shut up here, but I have one last thing to say. Seal coating your driveway is one of the most important things you can do to lengthen the lifespan of your pavement. it protects your driveway and the underlying asphalt from UV degradation, freeze thaw cycles, so water gets in your cracks, freezes and then thaws and then freezes again and thaws, and that makes your cracks grow. It's also just a protective layer against all the elements, oils, pine needles, leaves, whatever else that lands in your driveway, bird poop, who knows, that could stain or just break down your pavement faster. And so, yeah, that's what this is for. And as the bow on top, it actually makes your driveway look a heck of a lot better. So it just cures in this dark protective layer. And that's definitely an aesthetic component that makes your driveway just look brand new again. And funny enough, we actually paved this customer's driveway. We installed this driveway a few years ago. I think it was before I was working here, but obviously thankful for his business then. And then it's really cool that he trusted us enough to call us back to seal his driveway. So very thankful for his business. Stoked that he reached out to us, that we got to seal his driveway. Obviously, we thank him for cleaning his driveway, made our day go by a lot easier, made him get a superior product. And with that being said, enjoy the rest of this process to some beautiful music. And that's a wrap. Another driveway, done.